Have you ever stopped to think about how all the stuff in the world gets from one country to another? I mean, we're talking millions of different products. How do they all get sorted, taxed, and tracked? Well, it turns out there's a secret universal language for it, a code that classifies every single thing that crosses a border. Let's dive into this hidden world, shall we?
So just imagine the sheer challenge of this. Your job is to create one single, logical system for a nearly infinite variety of goods. Where would you even begin? How on earth do you account for every possible product, from something simple to the weirdly complex?
All right, take a look at this. It's kind of a knife blade, but it's not finished. It's obviously more than just a piece of metal, though. So what do we call it?
Or what about this? We all know it's a bed, but right now, it's really just a box of wooden planks and a bag of screws. How does this system handle something that isn't even assembled yet?
And then you get something like this wreath. You've got fabric leaves, you've got plastic berries, and you've got real pine cones. It's like 3 things all at once. So which one gets to define what it is?
The answer to all these puzzles is actually a surprisingly elegant set of 6 principles. They're called the General Rules of Interpretation, or GRIs for short. And the most important one, the one that is king of all the others, is rule number 1.
And here it is. We call it the Golden Rule, and it basically says this: the specific wording, the official text in the master catalog of all products, that's the final word. No guessing, no, well, it kind of looks like this. You just follow the text. It's the first and most powerful tool you've got.
Now, to make this whole thing easy to picture, customs experts have this really simple method. We're going to call it the ruler trick.
So imagine you've got a ruler. You start at the big, broad category. That's the 4-digit heading. Once you've found the right one, you use the edge of your ruler to slide one indent in to the 6-digit level. Here's the key. You only compare the options at that specific level. You pick one, and then you slide in again. You never, ever skip a level. It's this super methodical process of elimination, going from general to very, very specific.
Okay, but what happens when an item isn't so simple? What if the golden rule doesn't give you a clear-cut answer? Well, that's when you bring in the other rules to solve the puzzle.
Rule 2 is what I like to call the what-if rule. It handles 2 big scenarios. First, it tells us that things like our flat-pack bed, even though it's in a million pieces, get classified as the finished bed because it has the essential character of a bed. And second, it opens the door for how we deal with things made of mixed materials, which leads us right to the next rule.
So, let's circle back to our wreath. It's a mix of plastic, fabric, and natural bits and pieces. According to the rules, we have to figure out what gives it its essential character. You know, what is the one thing that makes this a wreath and not just a pile of craft supplies?
And that brings us to the real heart of how you solve these complex cases, Rule 3B. The whole game is figuring out which single component gets to define the entire product. So how do we decide? Well, you look at a few things. What's the biggest visual feature? What part is most important for its use? You can even look at weight, quantity, or value. For our wreath, it's pretty clear the colorful leaves have the biggest visual impact. They're what your eye is drawn to, so they're the ones that give it its character. All right, get ready for this one. This is the ultimate classification puzzle. A multifunction knife. It's got pliers, scissors, a screwdriver, you name it. This seems like a slam dunk case for Rule 3, right? We have to sort through all these parts and find the essential character, right?
Nope, it's a trick question. We don't use Rule 3 at all. The answer is hiding all the way back in our golden rule. And what's so brilliant about this is that if you actually look at the official tariff text, there's a specific heading that literally includes folding knives. And because the product is explicitly named, Rule 1 kicks in and we don't need any of the other rules. This is such a great example of the main lesson here. The golden rule always comes first.
We're almost done with the rules, I promise. These last couple help us handle the final little details, like what to do with the box it came in, and they help bring the whole system into sharp focus.
Rule 5 is super simple. It's all about the packaging. So whether it's a fancy, specially fitted violin case or just a plain old cardboard box, the packaging is classified right along with the product inside it. The only exception is if the container itself is the main event, like a really valuable, reusable case.
And that brings us to the last rule, Rule 6. This is the one that adds this amazing layer of precision to the whole system. It basically tells us, okay, now zoom in and do the whole thing again.
So you use rules 1 through 5 to find the right 4-digit heading.
Then Rule 6 says, okay, great, now apply those same rules to choose the correct 6-digit subheading, and then you do it again for the 8 and 10-digit levels. It's the ruler trick, just applied over and over, creating a system that's incredibly comprehensive, but also unbelievably specific.
So why on earth did we just go through what feels like a super bureaucratic headache? Because this hidden system, this secret code, has a massive impact on the entire world around us.
This code really is the language of global trade. It makes sure the same product is treated the same way, no matter where it's from, which creates a level playing field. It's how countries collect the right amount in taxes. It helps us gather accurate stats about what's moving around the globe. And yeah, ultimately, it affects the price of almost every single thing you buy.
You see, it's not just some boring set of rules. It is the invisible backbone of the entire global economy. It's this complex but really elegant system that allows trillions of dollars of goods to flow across borders every year, all written in a secret language that every country has agreed to speak.
And that just makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other invisible codes and hidden systems are out there, quietly shaping our world at this very moment?